Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. During this time of quarantine, I know emotions can run high. You're not used to being locked down in a house with your significant other or your loved ones throughout the whole day. And so you may not be able to communicate how you feel the most effective way. Today, I want to talk about communication and the different ways of communication. So let's start off by giving a definition of what communication is. According to dictionary.com, communication is the exchanging of information or news. So, just how I'm having this conversation with you guys virtually, we're communicating. You know, Finding the best way to communicate properly can improve attitude, can improve performance depending on the setting. So, if you're in school like we are, or if you're in a work setting, it can improve that drastically. And it can also improve with your relationship, whether a relationship with your significant other, relationship with your parents, your siblings, whoever it may be. Communicating is the foundation on how you get your point across. So there's three different forms of communication. As reported by skillsyouneed.com, they break those three things down into verbal, nonverbal, and written communication. First, let's start off with verbal communication. Verbal communication is anything that involves face to face, telephone, videos, or other forms of media. So, what we're doing right now is a form of communication, verbal communication. The second form of communication is nonverbal communication. So, this involves body language, posture, gestures, certain clothing that you wear, certain way that you act. These are all forms of nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is, in my opinion, a lot more key than verbal communication because you have to pay attention to the way people act in certain settings. They may smile in your face, but the body language may say something different. And if you read that the wrong way, you can have a whole different outcome in the conversation that you're trying to have. Like most people, I struggle with nonverbal communication at times. I let my mood show on my face. So if I'm feeling upset or flustered or bothered, my face will show that expression. It's not the greatest form of communication. I mean, sometimes you just can't help yourself when you're in a funk. You're just gonna wear your emotions out on your face. But trying to find better ways of communication is one of the goals that I've tried to set for myself during this time of self quarantining and self reflection. The last form of communication, as per skillsyouneed.com, is written communication. So, written communication is anything like letters, emails, books, social media, things of that nature. I know most of us don't really write letters like that often, but it's nothing like putting your words on paper and sending that to somebody else that you care about. You know, I'll never forget how it was when I was used to be a kid and I couldn't wait to get my own piece of mail. It's like, hey, I want some mail. I want some mail. My mom was like, oh, you're not old enough to get any mail. And then as you get older, you're like, oh, I don't want any more mail. I don't want any more mail. But mail are all forms of communications. Now, there's another form of communication that doesn't really get talked about a lot, and that form of communication is called visual communication. Now, most people may be visual learners, which means that they learn as they see things. So there's a saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words. For a visual learner, that means a lot because they can't communicate the best way with their words, so they'll use a picture to express how they feel or to get a certain situation in its context or whatnot. Now, depending on the situation of the conversation, you may not want to use a picture, but if if it's personal, you can do as you please. Now, something that I've been working on during this quarantine is a different kind of communication, and I got that from the Gottman Institute. It's called a gratitude journal. And basically, a gratitude journal is a journal of your thoughts for everything that you're grateful for throughout the day. So it's like waking up in the morning and taking 10 to 15 minutes of a self reflection to say you're thankful for waking up, you're thankful for the things that you woke up to, you know, waking up to a warm house, a roof over your head, those things that we necessarily take for granted every day because we have it there. But, you know, during these tough times, it could be here today and gone tomorrow. So, like over the past week and a half, 2 weeks, I've been just jotting down thoughts that I've had during the day, you know, anybody that's come to mind or whatever, just really getting in touch with myself and how I feel. Um, you know, it's hard for most people to like channel their emotions and have it make sense. Some of us may be a little bit more aggressive with our emotions. Some of us may be a little bit more timid with our emotions, but they're emotions nonetheless. But we have to find the most effective way to communicate how we're feeling. And so I would suggest most people writing down their thoughts, their feelings in a journal, and that way that you can sort through these things and really do some self inventory. You know, writing down your thoughts on paper may seem small in nature, but just looking at what you wrote down on paper can have a very powerful effect. You know, it really lets you sort out the positives throughout all of life's obstacles that may happen during the day. You know, we just feel like sometimes we can't catch a break during this moment and things are coming on too fast here, or, you know, since this is the last week of school, we got finals coming up and everything's speedballing right now. It feels like we don't have any control over certain things. So just being able to write down your emotions, figure out how you want to communicate that to the people around you so they're aware of what's going on with you is very, very key. It's helped me very much through this quarantine. Made me realize that I need to start reaching out to more people that I care about and asking them how they're doing, telling them I love them, and things of that nature. Just the small ways of communication are very key. And so, in conclusion, I hope that this video showed you guys just different ways of how to communicate, and that communicating properly is very good for your mental and physical well-being. As stated by